Hello and welcome back to Queen's Wish 2, and this episode will be a bit special because we are doing a kind of an what-if scenario now. So I will return home and talk to my to the mother, right, to the Queen Sharon, to my siblings, and then we will just basically flee the whole situation and end the game pretty much prematurely and leave everyone to their fate and just see what happens there. And then next time we are going to reload and basically continue our normal way to get the proper ending, which will probably take a few more hours though. So if you are not interested into this what if scenario, you might as well skip this episode. If you're not interested, there's no point in watching this. We are not going to do any combat or anything which I will not also repeat in a full playthrough. We will just focus on the basically alternative bad ending now. So I will also quick travel because I don't need to be time efficient here. We are going to Fort Meadow 4, and then we will just straight up go to the mirror and return home and do all the dialogues basically. There's a new thing to debate, but we are not going to do that. We are just leaving. The portal is open, glowing and ready to take you home. Now that your diplomatic mission is complete, you wonder if Mother will allow you to return to the Rokaj. She controls the portals after all. If you have anything else to do here, you might want to do it now. Nope. We are back home. You return to Sharon's place from the Rokaj. Your mission complete. The garden is empty, no family, no guards. It's eerily still. You honestly expected a bit more of a reaction. You begin your search for someone to report to. Of course, it might be that we need to do something here, like fighting or something. We'll see, but I doubt that. There's Delia. At last, someone is here to greet you. Princess Delia is pacing back and forth in the middle of the throne room. You approach her, expecting a warm hello. It is only when you get close that you see how upset she is. She turns and looks at you. You see the exhaustion and the tears. She leaps forward and throws her arms around you. Then, just as abruptly, she backs away. Kordanor, you have come back at last. The throne room guards are trying very hard to not notice any of this. Greetings, sister. I have returned from the Rokaj and I have a report. A report? Oh yes, the mission, diplomatic to the Rokaj. That happened. She wipes her eyes with her sleeves. Okay. It is strange to see her so uncomposed, especially out of private chambers. That must wait for a moment. Mother is ill. She had a setback. A setback? What happened? Mother grew very ill this morning. I visited her. There were no healers in the chamber. I found her, pale. She wouldn't respond to... She has to pause for a moment. I thought she was dead. I called for the healers. They revived her with the medicines. It took time. One of the bottles she needed was empty, you see. Where's Sutter? He's not here yet. He's fighting in the... I forget where. Some wastes on some border. He has been summoned. He will be home soon. How is she faring? Alright, she's conscious. They say she will soon be as she was yesterday. They have checked all their medicines and mixtures. One of the bottles was empty. Mother drank too much of it. A terrible accident. She has been dizzy and confused a lot lately. You see, she drank too much out of it. How could she drink too much medicine? As I said, dizzy and confused, she must have felt unwell and thought to treat herself. A sad accident. But at least she's well. The sages will make sure it doesn't happen again. Mother is unwell, very unwell. I don't think Mother is as sick as you make it sound. So, Mother is very ill. If Mother is so ill, we need to work harder to help her. Delia is now furious. So easy for you to say. Mother has you and Sutter away all the time, trying to fix every neglected problem in our time left. That damn list of hers. So you're adventuring on the Rokaj and I'm trying to day by day to help her. She closes her eyes and gathers herself. You don't understand. You didn't know the truth. Now you do. And you're home at last. I'm back from the Rokaj. Yes, you look different. The dangerous adventure in the Rokaj. Another rebellion. Something to keep our soldiers busy at least. Would you like to hear my report? Our vassal is on the edge of war. You mean the Rokaj? Another problem? Something else from other two. She chokes a little. Tears are about to resume. It has been a long day here, Kordanor. I need to go to rest. I need to think. Your report has to go elsewhere. Who do I talk to? Mother. Mother said she wants to see you in the moment you got back. It is an order. You can give her your report, she adds bitterly. Good luck getting her to actually listen. I will see you soon, I must... She turns and runs out of the throne room. Alright. Let's go see Queen Sharon then. There are the healers. You enter your mother's chambers and see her lying in bed. She looks sickly and exhausted, worse than you have ever seen her. Still, when you enter, she insists on rising to greet you in the proper regal form. As servants assist her in becoming presentable, one of her healers tucks your sleeve from the side. Hello, Prince. May I speak with you? How fares my mother? You may have heard. She has had a difficult day. She is now recovering. She will be able to speak with you. She only asked for a moment to prepare. How did my mother drink a whole bottle of medicine? She asked to be alone so that she could sleep. Her medicines were routinely left by her bed. We imagined she was tired and disoriented and drank it by mistake. The queen has had difficult periods. She is in one of these right now. If there's a similar incident, you will pay. She's very ill? I'm afraid so. It is a wasting disease, as you know. Slow progressing, painful. It is sad when the disease of commoners affect the greatest among us, yet the sickness does not see a crown. What is the cure? I do not think a cure is available. Magic can cure wounds, but not diseases. Life must reach its end. The Queen Sharon interrupts him. Kordanor, I'm ready. Come to me, my child. Let me hear of your victories. Oh. The queen motions you forward. She is standing upright, but with difficulty. Sweat begins to bed out on her forehead. She says, My child, you return victorious. I'm proud. It is good to have you home. As she waits for a response, she carefully lowers herself back into bed. Are you feeling well? Of course, I am completely well. She forces an unconvincing smile. I hope you haven't been listening to too many rumors. You know how court can be. I'm ready to report. The Rokaj is on the edge of war. So I have heard. Troubling. Very troubling. There's a long pause. You start to speak. But she doesn't seem to be paying attention. Her chin slumps towards her chest. Mother? There's a moment of great tension. The healers all lean forward, then Mother returns to herself. She smiles wanly and tries to look healthy. I apologize, Kordanor. I have not been myself today. I will take your report in a moment. She sips some water. Delia is very concerned. It is her way. I raised a very attentive child. She's very concerned, too much so. We had a minor mishap this morning. You drank a whole bottle of medicine. It was an embarrassing mistake. I am mortified, as you could imagine. My healers make a variety of potions for me to sip at different points of the day. I woke up too early. I was tired. I drank from the wrong bottle. That is all. We will have to be more careful. Are you sure it was an accident? She looks you in the eyes and you shrink back. For a moment, the queen is her old, imperious self. It was an accident. They happen. It will not happen again. A wrong dose I can understand, but an entire bottle? There will be no more discussion of this unfortunate mistake. Lessons were learned. It will not happen again. Now is the time for business. Reports. You want to hear my report of the Rokaj? Yes. She picks up a crumpled list of tasks and looks at it. Wait, let me find the correct entry. She looks at the list without seeing it. She's starting to lose her focus. Long silence. I completed my mission. There's unrest there, but nothing that requires your direct attention. The Rokaj challenged Haven and asked me to climb the mountain and answer for you. I refused. They challenged you? Challenged the child of Dharma? It is not possible. They would never dare. It is good that you didn't go. It could only have been a prank. That the Rokaj would challenge us, unthinkable. Is the truth. She grows very confused. The Rokaj fighting us, I don't understand. How could this be possible? Delia, Satar, Damal, what is happening here? The lead healer walks forward and gently lays a hand on your arm. Your mother has had a very long day. We still need to talk. The queen says, yes, we will. I need to understand. This is just all so strange. Just let me rest for a bit. She slumps back against the pillows and closes her eyes. The list slips out of her hand. Okay. So, as you walk away from the queen's bedchamber, you hear a disturbance. Clanging, shouting. It's not battle, but something is definitely happening. The sounds come from the direction of the throne room. General Miranda. When you enter the throne room, you are surprised to find General Miranda waiting for you. She is accompanied by an escort of soldiers. Some are Heavenite, some are Row. Some have recently seen battle. General Miranda walks up to you and bows. Prince, I'm very happy to see you. I have urgent news. Why are you here? Rebellion. Things have happened far faster than we expected. We are in desperate need of orders. I have been looking for someone to report, but nobody of your rank has been available. Give me your report. The traitors who challenged you and attacked Haven are on the move. Their army has begun to descend from the High Letha. They are a small force, but fearless. As they head downhill, they are gaining recruits. Clans are joining them. In Lascara, General Angach is ready to launch a response. We have an army there, waiting to be unleashed. We can fight these rebels. You notice that some of these warriors have already been in skirmishes. You see scratched armor and bandaged wounds. They had no time to make themselves more presentable. You need to speak with Prince Sutter. Can I assist you? I did not expect to get these orders from you. However, all other royals are either absent or, in the case of Queen, not conscious. What we need can only be provided by royalty. The situation is urgent. What do you want from me? Your army in the Gentle Coast is ready to march to war. The blades are sharp, the will is strong. All they need is the command. Give the word, and we will begin to awe the Rokaj with a timely show of strength. That is usually what it takes to control those barbarians. Give the command. Crush the rebels utterly. Make an example of them, so that nobody thinks we are weak. I give the command. Fight rebels, but carefully. Go slowly. Minimize damage and casualties. I have no orders. Allow the rebellion to proceed. I'm not in charge. I can't give an order. Crush them! The soldiers nod. General Miranda looks grim, but you can see the glimmer of excitement in her eyes. Yes, the Rokaj is a stubborn place. Only vicious, overwhelming force will get through those skulls of theirs. It will be done. I could use more help with the situation here. I could use more help with your situation here. General Miranda shakes her head. I'm sorry, Prince. If we delay in returning to the Rokaj, many lives may be lost. The soldiers are all salute. They are the standard pleasantries. Then they return to the portal. Back in the Rokaj, war is beginning. Here, you find yourself standing in the throne room, unsure of what your role is now. Now that the soldiers are gone, you wander around, looking for someone to talk to or something to do. The palace is eerily quiet. A few guards, no courtiers. You find dust and cobwebs. The housekeeping has been neglected. Normally, the queen would never tolerate this. Eventually, you return to your bedroom to rest. You eat, drink, and shake off the exhaustion of your time in the Rokaj. 3 days pass, then a servant comes with a message. Prince Sutter has finally returned. He is waiting in the throne room. Okay, it's a bit weird that we didn't have to talk to the queen or the sister anymore. At last, Prince Sutter has returned from whatever his latest mission is. He is sitting on Mother's throne. You have never seen him do this before. If Mother was well, you doubt he would have dared. You see and smell that he is fresh from battle. He slumps forward exhausted. There are still dots of blood on his sleeve. It takes a moment for him to notice you are there. When he looks up at you, it is hard to read his expression. Is he feeling nothing or too many things at once? He says quietly, "Hello, Prince. I see you got here ahead of me. Here, to help clean up the messes, I am sure. I am back, ready to assume my duty. Are you sure you don't need to clean up first? He looks down at his sleeve and sees the blood. Oh, yes, Mother would be annoyed. I will clean up soon. Then I will find out everything done in my absence, how easily I was replaced. You might as well catch me up. What about these rumors I'm hearing? Your beloved queen almost died. Mother drank a bottle of medicine and almost died. You tell him the story. Again, an eerie lack of reaction. He thinks for a bit. Then he asks several questions, none of which you have the answers to. Finally asks, and what do you think of that little crisis? It was an accident, it won't happen again. Everyone says it was an accident. Mother is very ill. It is true, she is. I thought I knew the truth, yet I think maybe Delia was hiding the truth of the queen's sickness even from me. I spoke with the doctor. You tell what you learned. Oh my, you mean people around here are telling the truth? I'm glad I got back before we fell back out of the habit. Mother still has a list of tasks. Yes, she wants to go to the end, thinking she has left Haven calm and prosperous and perfect. I don't want to be the one who tells her that she is grinding us all up for an impossible dream. It was an accident? Everyone says it was an accident. I am sure they do. The palace is operating as it always does. Don't worry. You have told me the correct story and I will be sure to repeat it. And the Rokaj has gone to war, have they? Not your fault. It's just what they do. Still, I'd like to hear what happened from your mouth. The Rokaj is in rebellion. General Miranda came to get orders. Now he sits up straight. You see an actual emotion on his eyes. Unfortunately, it is rage. Oh, she did she? And her future king was delayed a few days, so she just took orders from whoever was standing around. I'm sorry, overstepped. No, you are being insulting. He jumps to his feet. He shouts, You think you are ready to be king? You think you are worthy? I have been trained from birth. I have. He realizes that the guards are watching this tantrum. He tries to calm down. You should not have been asked. I am to be king. I have no choice. Nobody else was available. It was right for me to make the decision. You had the right, but it was not right. Don't worry, though. I am back. I am in charge. I will correct any errors you made. What do you think should be done? He holds up his sleeve and looks at the blood. I have a purpose. I am Mother's dog of war. Go here, kill these rebels. Go there, kill these magical errors. Killing and more killing. Turns out, that is what she made me for. I understand you let loose our army. Good. I will make sure they are enthusiastic. They will crush the rebels. They will learn that King Sutter is not sentimental. Haven will not tolerate any more nonsense. Is Haven well? All Mother can do is find things that are going wrong. Are you sure you want to be king? You are not the only one who can rule. Prince Sutter frowns. Your speech grows dangerous, brother. I am going to be king. It is my role, my duty, my destiny, the thing I have been prepared for my entire life. I have done too much killing for Haven to be forgotten. There's a strange look in his eyes. Mistrust, maybe paranoia. Do not ever speak like this again. Remember, it is I who will have to decide whether Haven is on the right path, though I will count on you and Delia to give your opinions from time to time. Haven should not rule the world. Haven is confused and neglectful. It must reform. Haven is strong and just. Yes, it is your home. You are a part of it. You must believe it, even if it is not true. After all, where else can you go? When I am king, I will serve Haven as if it deserves it. The queen will hear of your loyalty. As for you, you are a prince. You are my brother. You are special. I will always find a proper use for you. What must I do? Prince Sutter looks at you, awaiting you, trying to decide how much he should offer at this point. However, before he can speak, he is interrupted. Princess Delia runs into the room. Princess Delia walks into the throne room and gives you a nod. A proper diplomatic smile is pasted on her face. This is the first time you have seen her in 3 days. At last she has emerged and she has made herself calm and presentable. She embraces Sutter. Welcome home, brother. She looks at his state of dress. You should have had time to clean up. Still, I'm sure you will be forgiven when Mother comes. She turns to you. My brother, I must apologize for the display I gave you when you came home. I lost my composure. It will not happen again. You have been under too much pressure. I understand. You have had to be very strong. She looks away. It has been hard. I try to help Mother. I do her research, her demands. It has been lonely, difficult. She looks back at you and smiles. Still, it is my duty as princess and I am compensated. As for you, I hope your well-earned rest restored you. How are things in the castle? About to change quickly. Mother is on the way. Sutter asks, what? After what happened? She's holding court? Delia responds, the queen does what she wants, and she makes sure we do what she wants as well. How is Mother? She has recovered since the unfortunate accident. She has some energy. She is in surprisingly good spirits. I am sure having all her children under her roof helps greatly. How is Sutter? She looks at your brother, in need of a bath and rest for both and body and mind. The queen has been having you do a lot of fighting. Sutter says, it feels like my only purpose, killing it. It eats away killing. It eats away at you. It is a good thing to be home. What do you want, Delia? I want so much, I confess it. My life, it has strayed far from what I wanted, what it should be. I must be patient. What is wanted of me? The queen will be here soon. You can ask her yourself. Did you have some of your own ideas for what you should do? I need to return to Rokaj. It is facing war. I will stay in the palace. I will do what Mother wants. I will stay in the palace. And let's say that. I mean, I'm just picking something at this point, which is kind of strong, a bit in the direction of what I want to do, but also like strictly going to an end, basically, which is not the nicest thing, and trying something out. I will stay in the palace. That seems very likely. We have real problems to face, and we must face them here. Though I think, independent on what I choose, the result will probably be the same, like staying here in the palace. I don't think the game will allow me to go back. I mean, everything changed by now, so that would be too much work to design that. She tilts her head. My hearing has always been sharper than yours. Don't you hear? Mother comes. Look at the doors. Before long, you hear a procession approach. Delia and Sutter move to the side. The guards straighten their spines. The eastern doors open. A strong herbal medicinal smell enters the throne room. Queen Sharon walks through the doors. Her healers wait behind in the hall, waiting to leap in at the tent of her if needed. The queen makes her unsteady way to the throne. It's fortunate that Sutter is not in it, or there might be awkwardness. She sits and looks at you. The final audience regarding your Rokaj adventure is about to begin. You approach Queen Sharon III. Your brother and sister bow their heads. You note that the queen has a list of tasks hanging from her hand, covered with scrawled notes and heavily crumpled. Sometimes she forgets that she is holding it. She says, this audience is to celebrate Prince Kordanor. I sent my child on an official mission in the Rokaj. This mission is a celebration. Sutter and Delia look at each other. My children are home. Inspect her carefully. You take a look at her. Her face looks strange. Her eyes have a glassy manic quality. She must have insisted that the healers give her a mixture to get her through this audience. She wanted very much to celebrate your return properly. Are you well, Mother? She's silent, but you see her eyes start to focus. When she speaks again, some of the old strength has returned. What? Yes, of course I am, she snaps. I have had troubles, all know it, yet I am the Queen of Haven. Don't forget that. I understand. I am glad. I hope all understand Haven is challenged and it will respond with confidence and strength. So, Kordanor, let us resume our conversation. You have a report about the state of the Rokaj. The Rokaj is in rebellion. I have had reports from the field from our generals Miranda and Angach were quite forthcoming, both about the situation and your contributions. The rebels have advanced quickly, and warriors join them every day. Loyal armies in the higher valleys are already being attacked. There's death among the rebels and those loyal to us. When you return to the palace, General Miranda asked you to give the order to counterattack. How did you respond? I order that the row be utterly crushed. A harsh choice, my child. I know it must have been painful to give it. Sutter tries to say something. You can still see his resentment that you gave orders in his place, and his resentment when the queen ignores him. You were wise, firm, and without sentimentality. You are the child I raised. I approve. To finish this audience, I must ask you some questions. You know that Sutter and Delia seem eager to speak. Sutter, something to say? Sutter's exhaustion gets the better of him. He looks at the queen, his hands tremble. Mother, I have now spent years traveling from one end of the empire to the other, fighting in countless series of battles. He holds up his arms, showing off the blood still splattered on his sleeves. Yet, when the time to give orders has come, the time that calls for a monarch, I was passed by. I was hunting pests in the wasteland, a job that should have been done by our soldiers. The queen is confused. You expect an angry response. She should crush Sutter with a single cutting comment. Instead, she is just confused. Of course, Sutter, that sounds difficult. We'll talk about it later, dear. This response leaves Sutter as confused as Mother is. Delia, something to say? Delia looks at Mother's increasingly vacant eyes. She looks at exhausted, unwashed Sutter. Then she looks at you. She looks like she doesn't recognize you. She says in a quiet voice, I have nothing to say. I'm only happy that we are all together again. She takes a step back. I'm ready to answer your questions, Mother. I mean, obviously, we will try to find a more peaceful option, but I will also not like leave them out of the vassalage, make them independent or something like that. The queen looks at her list for a while, eventually finding a few notes. Most of your choices were adequate. Some were even close to wisdom. You replaced Governor Yvette with a nobody. Unfortunate. Her family is influential. We got plenty of tribute from her, and an expensive bit of idealism. You tried to say something about Yvette's actions, but Mother plows on. You replaced Governor Arto with a row? Yes, it was past time for him to be replaced, but making a vassal a governor is forbidden. And for good reason. I only hope we do not pay too much for your impulsive reaction. Poorly done. She's not interested in your response. In the petitions? The Razas asked for more than their due. Yet you prevailed. All the petitions of the Razas have been answered. Good, good. You did a lot for them. Not that they were grateful. What a troublesome people. And she pulls a note out of her pocket and peers at it. They dared to challenge you. They asked you to climb Prova Crook. They dared to insist to prove Haven is worthy to lead them, as if they were not bound by treaty and debt. A ridiculous remand, but a good way to show strength. What did you do, child? I did not go to Prova Crook. The wise, cautious path. If we let one vassal make such demands of us, others will follow. We must show that we are the masters and they are the vassals. Alas, this will only encourage them to bloodier rebellion. But it was necessary. One final question. You have been to the Rokaj recently. I have not. What is your opinion of our actions there? Let me ask a question first. Why has the Rokaj been so neglected for so long? Yeah, maybe that. Sutter and Delia tense up. They give Mother a worried look. The queen in turn takes a long time to answer. The words come to her very slowly. After Consort Damal died, I could not bear to think about the Rokaj. The loss of your father hurt. And then I was in the habit of not thinking about it, and then so much of this was my fault. She holds up her list. I made so many mistakes, I wish I could correct them. I have said enough about this. What do you say about the row? Haven has neglected the Rokaj. We should not have treated ourselves that way. Queen Sherry nods. True, of course. And now the price for our mistakes will be paid in blood. We will crush this rebellion. We will execute the traitors. Then we will rebuild a better Rokaj. Thanks to your help, we can start anew. You spoke wisely, therefore, it is a pleasure to make my proclamation. A proclamation? I proclaim for your brave work in the Rokaj that you are a hero of Haven. You have shown a lack of wisdom at times, and you have much to learn. Yet, you will have a position of great authority in our empire. Let these words be spread throughout our many lands. Sutter seethes with jealousy. Delia puts a calming hand to his arm. You hear her whisper, "You will be the king." I'm grateful. I could have done more. I am grateful. You earned it. She leans forward and places a hand on your shoulder. When you were younger, I had my doubts about you. Now that you have become a warrior of Haven, it brings me great relief and joy. Sutter seethes. And finally, I have personal judgment to place on you. I have watched you so carefully. I must judge how good and loyal a servant to Haven you have been. What is your judgment? As she speaks, the queen is starting to sway uncertainly from side to side. The healers move closer to her door, to the throne room. Still, she is determined to finish this audience on her terms. Not for the first time, you admire her iron will. I am sorry to have to say, your words and actions have shown you to need much correction. You don't understand Haven's ways, and I have greatly disapproved of your words and actions. You will still be a favorite servant, my child, but you have so much to learn. We will not forget it. Kordanor, Haven needs to work hard. We need to keep learning. Remember, you will need to give support. Give support? The queen turns and looks at Sutter. One day your older brother will be king. It is the greatest of challenges. He will need help, guidance, someone to challenge him. I know Delia will help him when she's not looking after her family to come. Sutter looks at the queen as if he's never quite seen her before. Both he and Delia have increasingly wet eyes. The rest of the world has seen us weak. They see me as sick and incapable. Other rebellions are brewing. We face many new challenges. I need to know that you will help Sutter when the time comes. I will be the better leader of Haven, let's say that. Sutter is furious, and Delia is shocked. Your mother diplomatically decides that you are joking. Pretty much like in the first game. Kordanor, some things are not to be jested about. The eldest will rule, the others will support. This Haven's way. You must do your duty when the time comes. You feel Sutter's glare burning into the side of your head. He will not forget this. With that last awkward detail settled, I declare your mission in the Rokaj as concluded. What will happen to the Rokaj? It is sad. Damal would be ashamed to see it, yet it must be done. The Rokaj is in rebellion, Haven will crush it. No other ending is possible. They have spirit, but Haven's army is the most powerful in the known world. All that there remains is to see how much damage is done. Your words and actions will have an effect on that. We'll see soon enough. I want to return to the Rokaj. I want to help. You complete your list. I need to stay in the palace and help. You will have your wish. Your time in the Rokaj is done. Our soldiers will clean up there. You are needed in the palace. Now that you're here, we can turn to... Her face goes slack. Her lips slips out of hand. Mother! When she leans forward, you think that she's lost in thought. She keeps leaning forward farther. She pitches forward in full view of the healers and the royal guard. She collapses in a pitiful pile on the floor. The healers surge forward. The guards are behind them. Even after what has come before, Sutter and Delia are shocked. As the queen is carried away, you pick up the remains of her lists. The boots of the guards have left it in tatters. Delia takes it away to discard it. Sutter walks up to Mother's throne and stares at it. Then he leaves for his room to clean up. You stand alone in the throne room looking for something to do. All you can do, it turns out, is wait for news. Achievement unlocked, final return. Nothing else though. Queen Sharon III is carefully removed from the... Now we have double music, unfortunately. Let me stop this one. And I think that one is also copyrighted, so I might need to mute that later on via YouTube stuff. We will see. Queen Sharon III is carefully removed from the throne room and returns to her chambers. Everyone knows the routine by now. Guards and healers return to their business, forgetting that anything happened. You spend some time with your brother and sister, some talk, a meal, trying to forget about everything that happened. Then life resumes. There is a crisis after all. All of the Queen's old orders for Sata and Delia are still active. Oh, I didn't see that one before. Of course, a few days of rests and treatment restore the Queen to functionality. She is soon back to giving orders. However, there are far fewer of them and only about major issues. She does not ask what happened to her list. She does not begin a new one. Almost all of her meetings and audiences take place in her chambers now. The guards watch over an empty throne room. Let me adjust the volume just a little bit for you. A few days pass. Sata grows more and more restless. It seems like he wanted a time for peaceful rest in the palace. Instead, he broods and takes about the battles to come. Soon he says his farewell, straps on his armor and blade, and departs. Delia continues to do the research for Mother. More and more. The Queen asks for advice. She even managed to spend some days with you and see a few suitors. However, as time passes, she grows quieter, more subdued. Some days, she does not leave her chambers. That leaves you wandering the palace. Sometimes you wonder if you should be going somewhere, but the portal is always close to you. You get more rest and entertainment than you need, but boredom causes you to pace the war halls. As time goes on, couriers and officers and visiting officials come to the palace to meet with royalty. For lack of others to talk to, you find yourself asked to give a lot of orders and rulings. Somehow news spread of Mother's lack of confidence in you. They accept your judgments, but you can see they are already scheming to find ways around them. Many of those who come to the palace bring news of the rebellion in the Rokaj. From a distance, you watch the war unfold. The Rokaj was greatly displeased by the way you acted while you were there. They take it as a sign of future disdain and neglect. You never went to Prova Crook to answer the rebel challenge. While there was wisdom to this choice, it looks weak and cowardly to the warriors of the Rokaj. This choice causes many to join the rebellion. Your orders to fully unleash the army of Haven were followed by the latter. The 7th army of the Ro leaps out of their camp near Laskara, eager to show the Ro what Haven's superior equipment and training can do. Your forces are swift and unsparing, mercilessly dispensing violent justice to traitors. They're eager to see how many Ro come out to fight them. The High Letha is sparsely populated. Most of its power comes from the trust and respect the rest of the Rokaj gives it. Raza Suharum did not want to support the rebellion. He saw correctly how much destruction it would bring. Yet he eventually chose of his own free will to speak in favor of the wolf's efforts. His words spread rapidly through the Ro. Governor Ivana is soon forced to flee for her life. She spends the last years of her career as a minor official back in Haven. The Kranos Woods are grateful for your efforts calming their groves. Though many druids want to fight for vengeance, the druid Proserplexa calls for calm and patience. The newly ascended Governor Evelyn replaces Yvette and immediately does his best to calm things with the Kranos Woods. Alas, the clans were angered by what they saw of you. When the battle grows fierce, Evelyn has to flee. He barely survives his journey to the safety of Arkaimin. Soon the Kranos Woods are in rebellion. Many warriors roam the woods, freely ambushing and killing Havenites and loyalists. Haven is forced to respond with a large disciplined force. Happily, portions of the Kranos are not burned. The Low Darga is grateful for your help defeating the brigands that had been tormenting them. Because of your words and deeds, they are more likely to blame the wolf for their troubles. When the Ro learn that Raza Lavita will also serve as their governor, they are grateful. Governor Atto leaves in disgrace. Soon the wolf's warriors destroyed a descent into the Lodaga, and the rebellion begins in earnest. Unfortunately, Haven has grown very unpopular in the Lodaga. Raza Lavita gives you an unpleasant surprise. The power you gave him is too tempting. He joins rebellion. His new post gives him access to your forts and supplies, and he uses these to fight Haven. The rebellion is fierce. Haven's warriors are chasing Dagans up and down valleys for months. In long series of ambushes, many are lost. Still, many corners of the Lodaga escape damage. It could have been far worse. When the battles have finally ended, Raza Lavita is finally captured. For his treason, he is executed in a very public way. The Gentle Coast is the wealthiest, least military, most loyal region to Haven and the Rokaj. Nobody expected them to be very active in aiding the rebellion. Alas, this means that when the rebel forces come down the valleys, the coast is not able to defend itself. Those loyal to the wolf give the traitors aid and hinder Haven's army wherever they can. Decades of peace and prosperity are shattered in several fiery months. The Gentle Coast quickly relearn the ways of the war, and the rebels are pushed back. At the end of the fighting, the stunned coastal folk have lost both their wealth and their trust in Haven. Eventually the war ends. The second great uprising is utterly crushed. Raza Suharum and those who wanted peace were right. Perhaps one day the Rokaj will have the strength to repel Haven and regain its freedom. Not today. It is a hard war, and the Rokaj is left as a smoldering, traumatized wreck. Few cities and settlements were spared the violence. Rebuilding will be the hard, expensive work of many years. Though she rises to make a brave face of it, you can tell that the Queen is greatly disappointed in how all this turned out. Much of her limited time outside her quarters is spent at Consort Damal's grave, talking to the stone. Then the Rokaj falls away from your thoughts. As time passes, you settle into life at the palace, being consulted, making decisions, enjoying the luxury of royalty. You have little favor with the Queen. While you are sought out by Haven's officials to give orders and advisement, your words are usually ignored. This only results in more chaos. Meanwhile, the rest of the family is absent. Princess Delia stays quiet and remote. She still does her duty, providing research and advice to your mother when needed. She goes through all of the month's emotions of life. Sometimes she reverts to her old self, and you walk together in the gardens or borrow the portal to go somewhere interesting. Yet mother's decline takes a real toll on her, and she feels responsible as unrest in your vassals grows. Prince Sutter openly prepares to become king. Half of the time visits powerful lords, wealthy merchants, and other potential allies. The rest of the time, he tries to display strength and confidence by visiting destruction on those who resist Haven's power. He has no shortage of targets. He spends little time back in the palace. You see that his work is aging him, and you grow to miss his confident smile. When he is there, he is usually alone with Delia or the Queen. He avoids you as much as possible. And the Queen grows weaker. She spends more time in bed, she gives fewer commands, she relies on the three of you more and more. There are no more unfortunate accidents. Yet her will is not entirely gone. She starts to talk about how she has one great regret. She never explained the Empire. She never claimed a vassal of her own. You try to keep her from taking on a new great project, but talking about it does revive her somewhat. You can only hope that she isn't too sincere. If she gives the order, it will be obeyed. She is still queen. Now all know of her sickness. If nothing else, events have brought truth to the world. In a way, it is a great relief. The rest of the world watches. They know the Queen is dying. She has declared that Sutter will follow her, but the Lords of Haven will have to agree. Some plot quietly to take power. Vassals who see weakness and distraction consider rebelling. Some actually follow the example of Rokaj and raise their weapons. Violence begins to break out. The world grows slowly more chaotic. You try your best to to fight the decay and reduce the violence. Since you lack the Queen's favor, you end up a figure of mockery at court, though never to your face. You often find yourself powerless to act. The worst lies ahead. At night, you have many dreams. Most of them are normal, you suppose, and sometimes in your sleep you return to the inns and beds of the Nisse. You remember, you made a wish. It still waits to be granted. You always wake from those dreams in a cold sweat. Fortunately, they don't happen often, you think. Congratulations for reaching an ending to Queen's Wish 2, the Tormentor. If you carry your choices to the next game in the series, hang on to this code and enter it when you start Queen's Wish 3. Alright, yeah, that's cool. Alright, so that was basically the bad ending, and so next time we will continue our journey to the peak of the mountain, to the duel. Maybe I will also have a look into the what's it called, this thing we should find for the or get back from the assassins, the harvester. So I will look into that, because I didn't know how it's supposed to continue, and I think we already got the achievement, so maybe it's already finished. I'm not sure, but I will look into that, and so we might do that next. And then we will continue with the main story and how it's, well, supposed to end. At least how I wish to end, but I think I will also try to make it a bit more interesting again with trying to become the new king. It's not just having everything play out without any interesting, without spicing it up just a bit, right? Alright, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.